It was freezing cold the morning Ethan decided to end his life. Standing at the edge of a cliff deep in the Himalayas, he looked down at the jagged rocks below. The wind howled around him. A single step, and it would all be over. He had lost everything. His company collapsed, his marriage shattered, and his self-worth buried under guilt and regret. But just as he leaned forward, a voice behind him said, "Before you jump, will you carry this for me?" Startled, Ethan turned around. An old monk stood there, calm, holding a large stone in his wrinkled hands. He wore nothing but simple robes, yet his eyes were warm, piercing. Ethan blinked. "What?" The monk extended the stone. "Carry this, just for a while." Ethan scoffed. "Why would I carry a rock? I'm done." But the monk didn't move. He simply waited, eyes gentle, patient like the mountain itself. Against all logic, Ethan sighed, stepped back from the cliff, and took the stone. The monk smiled, turned, and began walking. Ethan followed, still holding the stone. They walked silently for nearly an hour, through thick snow, across frozen streams, up winding paths. Finally, they reached a quiet monastery built into the side of the mountain. Not a word was spoken. Inside, the monk gestured for Ethan to sit. "Still holding it?" he asked. Ethan looked down. His arms were shaking, fingers numb. "Yes," he said, annoyed. "It's heavy. Can I drop it now?" The monk chuckled. "So why didn't you let it go earlier?" Ethan stared at him. The question landed harder than the hike. "Because you told me to carry it." The monk nodded slowly. "Exactly. That's what we all do. We carry grief, mistakes, betrayal, just because someone once handed them to us. But the real pain isn't in what we carry. It's in refusing to let go." Ethan placed the stone down on the floor, rubbing his arms. He didn't speak. For the first time in months, he was silent. Not with anger, but with realization. The monk stood and walked outside. Curious, Ethan followed. They came to a river that ran beside the monastery. Its waters were calm, flowing endlessly between the snow-covered rocks. The monk handed him a paper and said, "Write down what's crushing you." "Everything." Ethan hesitated, then wrote, "My failure, my divorce, my father's disappointment, my self-hate." The monk lit a small candle. "Now burn it." As the paper curled into ash, Ethan felt something strange. It wasn't magic. It wasn't some spiritual miracle. It was release. The monk pointed to the river. "See that stream? It keeps flowing. It never clings to a leaf, never holds back a rock. It lets go and moves forward. That's why it stays alive." Ethan asked, "But how do you let go of something that meant everything to you?" The monk looked at him and said, "You don't forget it. You honor it by not letting it drown you. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means refusing to live there." That night, Ethan didn't sleep much. But for the first time, he didn't cry either. He stayed at the monastery for several weeks, not to escape, but to rebuild. Eventually, when he returned to the world, he wasn't carrying the stone anymore. He was carrying peace. We spend years holding on to what's already gone. People, mistakes, regrets. But sometimes, survival isn't about fighting harder. It's about finally dropping the stone. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're wise enough to stop breaking your own heart. If you liked this story, then do hit the like button and share the story with someone in need. And subscribe our channel to watch more life lessons like this. Have a nice day, and thank you.